Hi, Keisha here of New World Tarot, and thank you for joining me today for another vlog. So happy autumn! Wow, summer 2019 is officially done. Like, it is in the past. That happened really quick. And I actually want to, go into mourning for summer's passing because I love summer so much. But on the other hand, hello autumn! This past Monday, September 23rd, marked the autumnal equinox. And for me, this officially kicks in Halloween season, all right? And if you haven't heard, here at New World Tarot, we're doing a Halloween goodie bag giveaway. And we got a spooky tarot deck, we got a very Halloween-y oracle deck, and a nice little fun extra gift as well. And I'm going to put a link below in the details. So Halloween is, of course, all about divination and parting the veil. And here we've got you covered for all of that. So all you have to do to be entered for your chance to win the goodie bag is to be signed up for the newsletter. And you can do that as well at the link. So, and I also want to say, if you are already signed up for the newsletter, no need to sign up again. If you get the newsletter already, you are good to go. You are entered in the contest, and we will be drawing it on October 27th. So stay tuned. And I wish you the best of luck, and I thank you, and I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you continue to, and just enjoy. I really enjoy putting out the content that I do. I love tarot. I love using it to help others, and I hope that you also enjoy all of this as well. Okay, so yay! So here we are at another new moon. And this time it arrives in the sign of Libra. And the sign of Libra and the autumnal equinox both bring the energy and the, really just the magic of equality and duality. Also, the temperature is dropping and the weather gets cozier and darker and, a little bit snugglier. And people tend to turn more to indoor activities this time of year, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. And the only thing really that I can think of that's better than cuddling up to a nice warm fire is cuddling up to a nice warm fire with someone else. Okay, and we're kind of going to talk about that a little bit as we explore this new moon in Libra. Now, the new moon is, of course, the beginning of the moon cycle. And it's that time of the year that's all about recommitting ourselves to our goals, to our desires, and really to what we want to manifest in our lives. And as the moon grows, so does our energy grow, more and more towards what we desire to come into fruition. Now, as this new moon arrives in the sign of Libra, and right after the beginning of the first day of autumn, this is a great time to focus on our own balance and duality, and specifically our relationships, our partnerships, and our social balance. So this new moon in Libra, I want you to take a good long look at the relationships in your life right now, and I want you to really ask yourself, what needs improvement in that area? How do I get my relationships to be more peaceful, more loving, more romantic, more productive, more fulfilling? Okay. So Libra. All right, Libra is a beautiful sign, and actually, quite literally, it's a beautiful sign. I've heard it from more than one very wise astrological source that Libras are actually among the most beautiful people of the zodiac. Okay, they just tend to exude beauty and charm and grace. And they love to surround themselves with beauty as well. So they're literally beautiful, inside and out. And Libra is also a sign that is social. And it's a sign that seeks balance outside of itself. Libra is ruled by the element of air, which is often all about social interaction and mental interaction and the mind, and connection and communication. And Libra seeks beauty, harmony, and balance in all things, both within and also and especially without, in the form of social interactions and relationships with other people. So this Libra energy of seeking harmonious relationships with others is a vitally important trait of mankind. And humans are social creatures. And even the most solitary among us will at least on occasion, reach out to others for companionship. Even if you're a hermit, there's always that time. It could be once every 5 years that you want to reach out and actually share some of your thoughts with another person. And this human need for interaction is why many people agree myself included, that solitary confinement is one of the most cruel and hardening punishments that we can give to another human being who's incarcerated, okay? As humans, we long to communicate, we long to connect, we want to share ideas, to pleasure ourselves, to entertain ourselves, to educate ourselves, you know, and we like to do all this through interaction with other humans. Spending too much time with ourselves can actually become dull at the late end of the spectrum, and kind of maddening at the dangerous end of the spectrum, okay? If you are human, and especially if you are a human, you know, a human that's living and operating within society, relationships are important, and they are a vital part of life. You know, they feed your life, and it's very important to really give energy to your relationships to really develop strong, harmonious, and healthy relationships and connections. Now, you know, I love journal exercises. I love journals. I'm obsessed with journals. You know, a journal is, of course, a great way to explore the relationships in your life, as well as how to harness this particular new moon energy in making them better. So, number one, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to just list your general relationship categories, okay? So if you have a journal or a fresh page of a processing document, you know, like a Word document, I'd like you to begin by thinking about all your relationships in general, okay? Now, we often have so many relationships with so many people at the individual level that it can get quite overwhelming to go from person to person, relationship to relationship, and be like, okay, how's that one? How's that one? How's that one? That one's okay, you know, and move down the line. That can get very tedious, okay? Instead, what I want you to do is you're going to take that fresh page of your journal or your document, and you're going to just, you know, right at the top, my relationship life. Now, here what you can do is you're going to put each area of your life in segments. For example, your work relationships, okay? You're going to write that down. Your romantic relationships, write that down. Your sexual relationships, write that down. They might be one and the same, might not be. Everyone has a different lifestyle. Your family relationships, your friend relationships, your neighborhood relationships, whatever, you know, keep going. And just make, you know, several larger categories of relationships. All right, and number two, once you've done that, is you're going to take a really good look at all of those, and you're going to select the relationship category that needs the most work, okay? So, again, so what you're going to do is you're going to think about all those larger general areas of relationships that you just wrote down, and you're going to think on what relationship area needs the most work right now. And if you're truly honest and open, you will likely intuitively feel, you know, what needs the most work. For example, you know, when I do this exercise right now, you know, my family relationships might jump out at me right away. You know, sure, other areas might use work, but there's just that one area that just intuitively gets my attention. You know, waving at me like, over here, you know, I need work. You know, I take a look at that and I immediately kind of cringe, like, yeah, I need to work harder at repairing that. Now for you, it might be family relationships as well, or it might be romantic or sexual relationships, or your work relationships, or your friend relationships, okay, or something else. And so after you've decided upon what area needs the most work, you can write it down in your journal or your document as your area of focus, all right, on this new moon in Libra. So number three is you're going to then admit what is happening in those relationships. So once you've written down or, selected the area, the relationship area that needs the most work, I want you to really look at that area and decide that you're going to work on it and be candid about what is happening within that relationship to the best of your knowledge. Okay? For example, if I decide that the relationship area that I'm struggling with is a relationship with my friends, I'm going to name it. All right? My friend relationships are going to be my focus. And then, to the best of my ability and with my most honesty, I'm going to ask what it is exactly that is plaguing my relationships with my friends. Okay? I may write that I have fallen out with my friends over a political issue, or perhaps a lover came between us, or something else had happened, or someone got hurt, or whatever it is. All right? Maybe I'm just busy and I just been shooting them down for social events. You know, whatever that problem is, you're just going to kind of just dump it out and just state to the best of your ability what has happened. And again, the most important thing is to be honest. All right, no one else needs to see what you're writing. Okay, and once you trust that what you're writing is between you and God, or you and your higher self, or you and the universe, or you and the page, okay, then you can really just be free and just be honest and let what needs to happen come out. And I feel that is where the healing really, really lies, okay, is with that open honesty that you have. All right. So number 4, after you've done that, you're going to start to design your ideal relationships, okay? So once you figured out where you need to improve your relationships and what is happening right now, you can then move on to what you want your relationships to be. So returning again to the example of wanting to work on my friend relationships, say I've written down that my relationships with my friends have gone south due to something bad that happened at a party, that we're all at. And I wrote down the event, and I also have, I wrote everything that happened, and I wrote the now, the fallout is I really talk to my friends anymore. And I'm feeling lonely and sad about that. Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan out how I want my relationships with my friends to be like. So I will write, that I want to have an easy and fun relationship with my friends again. Where we laugh and we call and text each other all the time, and we share memories and tag each other on social media, all the things that, friends do. I would like to get that back. Okay. So this is going to be my new moon intention for my friend relationships. Okay. And again, you're going to spend a few minutes on all these steps. So hopefully you take some time to really sit down, just, set aside at least 15 minutes minimum, and to kind of go through these steps. So now number 5 is I then ask, how can I improve my relationships? Okay. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to ask how you can bridge the gap between where you are currently in your relationships and where you want to go. So in other words, what action can you take to have the relationships that you want? Okay. And if you're anything like me, this can be one of the hardest parts. And a huge part of you may say, me? What can I do? How about what so-and-so did? Okay, can we talk about that? Because that was awful and treacherous and it's all their fault, yada, yada. Okay, so this is definitely the hardest part of being in a relationship. It's trying to repair it when things go wrong. And we so often want to not admit wrongdoing and instead blame the other party. And this can have the opposite effect of what we want. And it's at this stage that we need to really admit that in any relationship, in any partnership, when 2 or more parties go to war, it's due to the actions of everyone involved, okay? And this is a time to admit the part that you may have played in the toxicity of the relationship and to ask forgiveness and then to let it go, okay? And you have to truly, truly be honest. And again, this is where honesty becomes so important. It literally might be that you did nothing, because you know what? Nothing is an action too. The lack of action is an action, and the lack of action often has consequences. For example, if it is an abusive relationship, that relationship as well needs a perpetrator and it needs a victim. So you also have to acknowledge your part if you have been victimized in a relationship. And this work is not easy, and it can take a while, most certainly, but that is a first step. Okay. And yes, and as far as, again, that the blame goes, yes, the other party may have caused trauma. For example, your friend may have said some awful things to you, but what did you say back? What did you do to retaliate? And we have to admit our part in relationship drama and trauma. And once we've done that, we must ask how we can improve our relationships by meeting them halfway. Okay. So this is where Libra and Equinox energy come into play, all right? This energy is not about being a slave to someone or being a doormat. It's about being willing to meet someone halfway, okay? It's about I'm going to put in the work and sending out the invitation for your partner to also put in the work, okay? It's about admitting our own role that we play in everything that is a part of our life, including our relationships, and asking for forgiveness, and then allowing the other party to hopefully meet us halfway and do their own work in healing the relationship. And, if the person, or the party that we are in the relationship with truly is worthy of being in a relationship with, they will do just that. They will take that invitation and they will meet out to you. Even if you are the person completely at fault, which, let's be honest, sometimes that does happen. If they are still willing to be in a relationship with you, they will still, they won't grind it into your pulp, into your ashes. They will forgive you and then leave it at that and be willing to move forward. Okay. So, if someone, does not do that, are not willing to meet you halfway, well, that's food for thought, isn't it? That's plenty of food for thought for the state of your relationship, and is it worthy to continue? And that's a part of growth too, is realizing that all relationships are not healthy and some may need to end. Okay. All right. So I want to just very quickly end with doing a little tarot draw. Okay. So we are using the Tarot of the Haunted House by Sasha Graham and Mirko Pierre Federici, I believe is his name, as the illustrator. And I am loving this deck, especially during this nice autumn season. It's subtly Halloween-y, but it's definitely a little bit darker. But I also love the female theme of a character named Raven Wandsworth, who is our protagonist. Just tracking her journeys through the tarot deck. It's really, really beautiful. So what we're going to do is we are going to choose a card that represents where we are in life. And we're also going to choose a tarot card that represents what we're heading for. Okay. So for representing us, I've actually chosen the full card. And don't worry, I'm going to have all of the cards laid out up on the screen soon so that you can actually properly see them. And usually I do choose a court card, but for this particular deck, I love the character of Raven Wandsworth, who is represented here for the full, just as she is the character at the beginning of a grand adventure. Okay, so she is working her way through this haunted house and coming across all these adventures, and she's a fresh virginal woman and at this stage, and she has so much to learn and just so much to really go through still. And I kind of, we're definitely all can equate, with the full energy. So the full is going to represent us, in this journey. For what do we need to learn in this journey of life to learn how to get the harmonious and beautiful and fulfilling relationships that we desire. Okay. Now for the representation of those ideal relationships, I've chosen the Two of Cups. Now, as far as the astrological connection with tarot, the actual card that is most associated with Libra is Justice, but I feel the Two of Cups is more in line with the topic, the particular aspect of Libra that we're actually talking about. Libra definitely has correlations with justice as well. That is definitely a Libra energy. But today, we're actually talking more about our social relationships and our partnerships. And to me, the Two of Cups actually is a good representative of that energy. This is a beautiful Two of Cups card. We have Raven Wandsworth, again, who is this protagonist that we saw in the full, who is now meeting up with the Knight of Cups and having a commitment ceremony. Okay, so again, the full representing us, where we're at, as we have so much to learn. How can we learn to manifest relationships and harmonious and loving and beautiful relationships? And that is going to be represented by the Two of Cups. Okay, so I'll do a very, very quick shuffle here. Okay, so how can we represent, or how can we learn to really bring in more harmonious and loving relationships and just improve our partnerships and improve the experience of our life? Because let's be honest, relationships can, you know, make or break your experience here. Well, again, we are so social, and it's so very important that we learn to really get along and, you know, spend time with people that we want to spend time with. Okay, one more. Okay. All right, so for our 2 cards here, we have, first one, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Wands. Apologies, Knight of Wands. Okay. And we also have the Chariot, okay, pulled in reverse. Okay. Okay, so we have a beautiful spread here that shows as what we can do to bridge ourselves as learners, as people who are open to new experiences, how we can learn to have more harmonious and fulfilling relationships. We have the Knight of Wands and we have the Chariot, which is pulled in reverse. And right away, what I see here is a warning and a cautionary tale about our passion and about our quickness to act and to react as well. We have, you know, of course, the Knight of Wands. The ruling element there is fire, and this is all about just that raw, you know, drive, our passions, our, you can even, jealousy is in that category as well. And the Knight of Wands is wonderful energy, but it also can be very fiery in a bad sense, and it can burn things to the ground, including relationships. And the Knight of Wands is someone who acts first and thinks last, if at all. And this energy can actually be very, very harmful to relationships. And it's very important that we learn to control that and rein that in. And if we don't, which is what happens, is we see the Chariot, as he is here, pulled in reverse. It will tend to drive us into the wrong direction. And it will tend to cause our relationships to spiral out of control. So we need to really rein that in and rein in our horsepower, so to speak. And fire is a good thing. We need passion in our relationships. That's what keeps things interesting. That's what, you know, especially romantic and sexual relationships, and, you know, even friend relationships as well, and even work relationships in varying degrees, of course. However, we have to recognize the overabundance of fire is hugely unhealthy to relationships. So the lesson here is we need to observe ourselves and learn how to catch ourselves before we say things come flying out of our mouths that we are immediately regretting that we said. It is in those quick, angry outbursts of fire and flame that relationships can become irrevocably damaged through things that we immediately regret, you know, saying, things that we immediately regret doing, you know, like, in so many, you know, pop songs, vandalizing people's cars or doing whatever, sabotaging people. You know, we have to curb our reactionary behavior, and we need to stop the outburst of fiery emotions. Okay, otherwise it's going to drive our relationships into a place where we don't want it to be. Okay. All right. right. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining me today for this new moon vlog. And I hope that you enjoy, the rest of your autumn. And I hope to do another little oracle card review, just to give you kind of a walkthrough of one of the decks that we'll be giving away. And just enjoy your autumn. Enjoy these nice, mild, late summer, early fall days, and just have fun and be blessed and be safe. And we will see you next time. All right? Take care.